right, you guys give it up for Jeff Buckley of Foundry. He is the VP of Business Development, and he will be talking about navigating the ASIC market.
It's really good to be back at Disrupt. I love this conference because it is so focused on mining specifically. A lot's changed in the last year, right? It's, aside from losing $1 trillion in the market, I mean, not that, again, $1 trillion isn't what it used to be, but it's still remarkable how much pain there's been in the space, right? Not just in the Bitcoin price, but in ASIC pricing, which we're going to get into today. And so here's kind of where we are now. And again, I think that it's what's really amazing to me is that like here we are, despite everything that's happened over the last few months, and we're still working together, heads down, building, right? And this industry's not going anywhere. Like look around, look how thriving this space is, and it's like we're gonna get through this, and we're all gonna come out stronger for it. Let's just do a quick pulse check on where we think ASIC pricing is, right? So I'm curious what kind of pricing you guys are seeing in the market on, like, say, brand new 100 terahash machine. What is this? What is the price level per terahash? What are you guys seeing? 13. We'll get there. We might get there. All right. Anybody else? Anyone? All right, 13. That's it. Going to gentleman in the back at 13. All right, so really what this slide's got a lot going on. I'll try to explain all this, but essentially what this is showing is ASIC prices over time, and it's really looking at payback periods, right? So when most people are looking at ASICs, they're trying to figure out how soon am I going to get my money back? And what's going on in the market right now is that the spread is really wide, right? So I do think buyers are somewhere around $15, $18, or at least low 20s, right, per terahash, and that's like a reasonable payback, right? They're trying to get like a 10-month or less payback. Now, I think sellers are trying to get probably an 18-month payback, right? And so that puts you in like the high 20s, low 30s right now. And that's kind of the market. And there's not a lot of cash buyers out there. So there's this, it's hard to find a clearing price in this environment. But again, that's kind of where we are. I think the other thing that's maybe counterintuitive is there are periods of time in the market when the multiple, like the payback period, looks high, and it can actually be a good time to buy ASICs. And so, like right now, it's coming in now, but it was running. We were running at a pretty high payback period. And I don't know. I'd argue that now is a reasonable time to buy machines. I mean, these things were trading, as you can see, pre-China ban. These were trading, really north of 90, right? There was people buying ASICs at over $100 a terahash, and so I don't know, 22 a terahash seems pretty reasonable at these levels. So what this slide is basically representing is it's showing you sort of if you're bullish on Bitcoin, are you better off just buying Bitcoin or are you better buying ASICs, right? And so this was created at Bitcoin 20,000. And just kind of shows if you deployed this capital to buy 5 ASICs at $40 a terahash, this is like what your returns would look like 2 years later, right? So it's sort of a leverage bet. Mining is sort of a leverage bet on Bitcoin. All right, so what we're really here to talk to you about today is sort of what is a little bit newer for us. So as we talked a little bit earlier, really what Foundry is best known for is probably two things, right? We started in the business with an equipment financing business. And this was at a time when nobody was lending against these assets. Too volatile, price was all over the place. But we really, Barry at DCG and Mike Collier, our CEO, were really thinking this, in order to grow the North American ecosystem, we really need capital in this space. So we launched our equipment financing business. And then shortly thereafter, we launched the Foundry USA pool, right? And this was a time when there wasn't a US-based pool that was fully transparent, SOC audited, and as more and more miners went public, they really needed this, right? Their auditors, their shareholders, all their stakeholders needed a very reliable, trustworthy pool. And so our team of developers were able to build that. And shortly after the China ban, we saw an explosion of hash rate in the pool, and right now we're ranked number 1 in the world, which is pretty incredible. Now, that's sort of what Foundry's done, and so now what Foundry's really focused on in the coming year is the ASIC market, right? So we launched Foundry X. Foundry X is a marketplace for buying and selling ASICs, and I think what's really going to, in order for folks to get the very best pricing of machines, it's going to come down to the depth of the intel that you have and how wide your network is, right? So there's a lot going on in the marketplace now. There's a lot of large miners selling machines, and knowing where those machines are, who's selling them, and at what prices is going to put people at a really big advantage. And I think that that's what Foundry X is going to do. We're going to bring a lot of transparency and seamlessness to this process. So I don't know if anyone has sort of ordered ASICs before, but it can be it requires a leap of faith, right? You're in these chat rooms and telegrams, and you're wiring money overseas. Sometimes your machines don't show up for months. And so Foundry X is really being designed to change all that, right? We're gonna create a super seamless process from order to delivery. We also have Foundry Deploy, which can actually plug these units in for you. So if you have remote locations and don't have the team to put these machines on, we can rack 1,000 machines a day, and we have an entire logistics team that will get these machines to you. And so a big part of this is going to be the ability to bid on machines, right? To kind of like set your own price. And so we're not going to always be able to hit that price, but we're going to work really hard to work that order and see if those machines are available. So stay tuned on this. We're going to be doing live demos over at the booth today. This is actually not the most recent slide, so this looks a lot different today, but come by the booth and you can see the latest version of this. All right, so again, this Foundry, again, we have a huge booth in the middle. Come by, say hello, and we'll love to show you what this demo looks like, and we're gonna be launching this really soon, and we think you guys are gonna love what you see. So again, thanks so much.